Hey, everybody. It's Crazy Logics 007 on YouTube. Crazy Logics in the forum. Everybody else just calls me Damon, kind of thing. Live streaming. Oh, I see Todd's in here already. Just picked this up. As a matter of fact, coming home, I was watching Chase. I wasn't watching, I was listening to. Let's see if I can get this to go here. Yeah. That's what. Watching Chase. I'm gonna murder his last name. Fournier. He was fixing some Nintendo Switches, so I plugged it into my truck so I could listen. But I got this PS4. Got it cheap. Supposedly not working. Came with controller, power cord, an HDMI cable. We'll test these out. I'll test that one here real quick, but I'll have to test this later. Sorry if there's a lot of background noise. I can turn off the heater, one of the heaters at least. I do have my beanie cap on to try to keep warm. It is cold out in the garage. We'll have to test this controller later. We can test this. I can plug this in and see if we're getting voltage to it. Put on AC. Make sure I got the right cable. I got another PS4 cable here that I use that's kind of a hack job one. Here we go, 110 volt. Alright, 120 volt almost, 118. So that's the power cable, it's good. So the person selling it described it as it had started throwing an error code and then just wouldn't turn on. So I've got my old clunky power cable here. Oh, and this is a fat PS4, and it is. Sorry, there's still some moisture on it. Once I got it, I wiped it all off with disinfectant and stuff. That's how I do all of them before I get them. It could be full of cockroaches. We never know. We'll have to spray it down. This is a 1215A. Somebody has been in it. It's missing its screws, so that's never a good sign. But we're just going to go, or it's missing its covers and its screws. You see how this is a hack job. This was a square one. I cut the ends off. It's been melted and stuff. Well, let's go on ahead and hit the power button. And we get nothing. A whole lot of nothing. Well, plug that back in and hit the eject button. So Todd, what do you do to so there's not even anything going to the eject there? We'll kill that one heater. Maybe a little less background noise. Is that better? But not even getting nothing from the eject button. The fact that somebody's been in it means maybe they screwed up, put it back together. It is missing screws here. It does have a hard drive in it, so that's good. We do have some dirt. I can't tell if that's bugs or not. Nothing in here. We'll know when we get to the power supply. Oh, it's got a little scratch on the side, but it's not broken. It may have had bugs at one time. So looking in here, this cable's still hooked up. I just repair the power supplies, otherwise I do not know anything about them. Yeah, I watched the coder, Andrew Paul, of course my mate Vince and stuff, and I know Andrew Paul works on some of the power supplies, I think, but like the coder, he says, nope, not gonna do it, not working on them, and so he doesn't. Can't remember how the bottom comes off here. Yeah, it should be. Yeah, they love the cockroaches and stuff. They love to live in the power supplies. We've got the screw out. I just don't want to break nothing. There's like 2 or 3 revisions of the fat, but there's the I think the 1200. This one's, what did I say, a 15? No, it's a 1215. There's 11. And then there's the 1000 series, the original. I've got several. Yeah, Todd, that's what I find. I would love it. Like I said, the coder, a lot of those guys, they don't want to work on them. My mate Vince has worked on one. I don't think he got it going, but yeah, it wouldn't bother me at all to work on the high voltage supplies, just because in my regular line of work, I work on stuff that's much higher voltage, 480 all the time. So, come on. I'd like to have a great description of exactly how that's supposed to come off. I'm struggling and I don't want to break it. I could probably just get my pick and a little slide along the edge here. Let me get my glasses on too. I can't see nothing. So yeah, I don't mind working on the high voltage stuff. When you know capacitors are going to knock you on your butt. Oh, come on. I know there's not any other screws holding that on. It's just the cover. Why is that so hard? Somebody glue it or something? Doesn't look like it. What's thin here? There. Well, it just stuck on there. Dusty. That's okay. So here's the power supply. And no, that's too big. I think that's the little one. Oh, excuse me. So you gotta remember. I work on, I don't work on them every day for a living, so that makes it a little tougher to remember exactly how each one of them come apart and exactly which screws you need to take out. On this one, I believe it's that, and these 3. I don't think there's one from the other side, but I could be wrong, because there is a version that has a screw somewhere. Like this screw covers the Wi-Fi up. I don't think there's anything underneath that holding, but there might be. Oh, well, it's missing screws. Missing a screw there. It's got the wrong screws in there. There's all the cover screws. Well, those might not be. But I don't think those are the right screws for that. I think they're supposed to be little silver screws. So it's missing a screw there, there. Oh, you can't see all that. Missing a screw there, there, there. Well, one of these, that one, but that. So somebody's definitely been in it. Like I said, that cable's hooked up. There is, by the way, on the 1215s, this little bitty piece. Let's get this up in the camera. Everybody asks this in the forums and on the Facebook pages. Where does this little thing go? It's threaded. And guess what screw it fits? You know that metal cover we took off? That's what screws in there. So it goes down through here. And it comes out right there. And those two little prongs fit on either side of that hole. You put that on there. Before you put this will hold it on, and that allows you to screw that in there. But everybody drops this out and then forgets where it goes. So if you happen to have somebody ask that, point them towards the recorded version of this live stream. Oh, yep, just came right out. Well, here we go. Here's the problem. Straight out the get-go, they have ripped the power connector off the board. And it looks like they tore this ribbon cable, taking it out. Because when it came up, it had taken it with it. So that's not cool. We're going to have to fix that. But the cool thing may mean that it might work after this. So this is the 4-pin 4-wire. If we look down into the power supply, all I see is dust bunnies. We may take that screw out and pop it apart to see if there's any other bugs, because it'd be nice if it was a bug-free console. Does not look like it, just looks like maybe it's dirty. Have to figure out which way this goes in there. It's ripped a couple traces off. Let me show you. I'm going to set this right next to where it goes and zoom in. And this happens a lot. A lot of people that try to go in and fix something themselves, besides losing half the screws and everything else, they'll tear stuff off because they'll yank it out. They won't, you know, unplug the connectors right and stuff. So that's pretty cool. We got one. I think it goes that way, but we're going to grab another board if I got one, just to verify that. And then this ribbon cable. Not sure if it has a detach. No, it does not. I don't know if you can see that, but there is a nick in it, and it looks like it's nicked through one of the wires. Let me get my head in the way here. Yeah, most of the way through wire. So I'll have to see if I got one of those, because I believe that actually goes up front. It is this wire right here. Nope, that's that one. So it must go to either the disk drive or something. We'll figure it out. I think it's so. But first we have to get power. Hey, number one priority. So this is a 1215 board. Let's zoom out here. I did a lot of 4160 work when I was nearing my occupation. 4160. What's 4160 work? I should say the end of my occupation. Oh yeah, that's been a part. Yes, it has been a part. So we're going to end up having to take it all the way apart. So I just released that little clip. I don't think this one, nope, that one doesn't have anything on it. There's that is free. That's the Bluetooth antenna, and that's, we have to take that off. Where's my, there. Hopefully that's in okay shape. Yep, seems like they didn't tear that up. So I'm going to go ahead. I got to find my adapter for the hard drives. We'll crystal disk check that while we got it out. Man, I'm looking for a screwdriver and I'm not seeing it. And I know I just had it because I was using it to push a plunger. I was fixing Uconnect 8.4 screens for Dodges. And this screwdriver is one of the ones I'll need. Oh, there it is. So, authentic little PlayStation there. Let's go ahead and pull this out. Do I have my hardware adapter over here? I do not. I think it's over on my other bench, which is actually a desk. It's not really a bench. It's got another computer on it that runs my 3D printer. Give me a second. And in the mills, we called it medium voltage. Oh, 4160. Okay, now I know what you meant for voltage. Duh. Brain's not going, yeah. Bear with me, I was pulling down some boards. So just a little USB adapter. Plug it in, and then we'll see. See if I can do this. So let me show you the left screen. Here is Crystal Disk Info, and that one was labeled Disk 3. It's 500 gigabyte, and it comes up good. And see, it'll tell you a whole bunch of information here. Current, worst, threshold, and it gives you some other stuff. But if too many errors have happened in the disk and stuff, it'll give you a yellow and then a red. And so it kind of gives you the idea of the health of the hard drive. So that seems tolerable. So we'll eject that. Safe to remove. So hard drive should be okay. That's not 100% guarantee that it's okay. It can be corrupt, but that means that its internal error reporting says that it's somewhat okay. So we're going to go ahead and remove this because we got to get the board out. I don't remember. this style board having these screws. Thought they were a silver screw. Different silver screw, but oh well. I gotta bring back up my window here for chat. So it'd be really sweet, like if Micro Mage would show up. I know, I think I've had him in one or so of my live streams, or he's done. I know he's on your live stream several times there, Todd. But yeah, see, it's missing the little bitty silver screws there. Man, it's missing a ton of screws. It's a good thing I got some parts ones. If this thing ends up being okay. Because they did not play nice with this thing. That, and we can test that power supply over here for voltage and stuff. Oh yeah, they tore up some of the heat spreaders. Get that off there. Now I got to remember what all else holds this thing in. Like I said, I don't do enough of these daily to be really good at it. I think that's all that stuff, so we just got to take that off. And to remember every version of it, because I've worked on every version of a PS4, I believe, even a PS4 Pro. So I've seen them all, but I just don't work on them every day. So I fixed a whole lot. You know, with COVID, the whole thing, PS4s got real, and Xbox Ones were super hard to come by because they were trying to make the new ones, couldn't make enough of the new ones, and so everybody was trying their dangdest. Oh, I've got to unplug the fan to get it. So that thermal paste, it seems soft. We got that out, and it just appears dirty. Oh, we do have one little bug. He's dead. I'll set that to the side. Along with the top shield, so not infested. Still got its shields on here. A lot of people lose these shields right here. I go over these. It just slips on the board. A lot of times repair shops, I've heard, forget to put them back in and they just leave them out. And so, anyway, so we got to fix this over here. And I believe it's tore off the pads. Let me look down here with my thing and just make sure. Yeah, and it tore off the pads on the 5-volt. On-off little sensing thing, I think, because it's got, let's see if I can zoom in and show you just exactly. I may have to turn off the overhead light too. So, oh, you know, I could, let's see if I can plug in the microscope, make it work. And where's the power for it? There it is. I use the same oh, it's not gonna let me do that. Let's see, microscope. We'll do it. Let's see. Microscope. Is there a refresh? Let's see if it'll let me do this. Yes, okay. So we'll go to the left screen. And I'll put my microscope and I'll move it around. Sorry if it's jumping around. Let's see if I can get it positioned here. And move the power supply. So I can move the board. Alright, here we go. Right here. Here is the damage. So this little connector, you can see the bottom, these two pads right here and here ripped off from right there and there. So that thing goes like this, right on top there, like so. And it's a 4-pin connector, and if you look at those two pins underneath there, so they're right there, you can see that that pin and that pad goes along here. There's a little cap, and then they go along these little traces to these vias, and that's probably going to go up to the power supply button. So we need to fix that up, and to do that we just need to clean these pads off. So let me go back to overhead, zoom out a little here. This is my microscope here. Swing it out of the way. Hey, Mike Honda. Oh, Mike, if you want to put the biggest one you can on a PS4, last I knew the limit was 2 GB. Now you have to be really careful. It has to be over 2 GB. So sometimes you'll get some of those that are like 180, and they kind of advertise, some of the shystery places advertise them as 2 GB, and they're not really. So you need to make sure it's a full 2 GB. A 2.1 would work, anything like that. Or sorry, not gigabyte, terabyte. The brand I buy for the PS4s is the Seagate Barracudas, and this is a 1 terabyte. So if this hard drive that came with it, which the OEM ones are terrible, was bad, then I upgrade everything to 1 terabyte. Yeah, it had been. I haven't looked at prices in a while, so don't quote me on anything. But it had been only like $10 more to go from a 5 to a 1 terabyte. That's, double your size capacity there for very little money. So it wasn't worth buying the 500s. This makes the PS4 worth more straight off the get-go, because a lot of people have digital download games. So you can do it in 500, 1 terabyte, and 2 terabyte. I don't think you can get any more for the internal one. Plus, you got to be careful when you get some of the 2 terabytes. There is a size that you have to get so that they'll fit in this drive bay. See how it's not got a ton of extra room in there to fit in the drive bay? So you've got a height limit. Just make sure you look at the physical dimensions before you order it. I ordered one of these one time because I thought I was getting a good deal, and the reason why I was getting a good deal is because they were really thick, and when I went to put them in the drive bay, the holes wouldn't line up to screw them in, and I had to send them back to Amazon. So, but yeah, it's 500, 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte. 2 terabytes the biggest I knew last. They may have changed that with a revision, but don't quote me on that. So I'm going to turn the overhead light back on. Boy, that puts a hell of a glare. I've got to put my little filter cover back on there. But let's turn that light off for now. So we need to clean this one up because it's got the ripped off tabs. Then we're going to re-solder it right back where it was. And then I'm just going to run little jumpers. From the looks of this, I can just run a jumper to one place on that capacitor, And then we're going to have to scrape back a little bit. Sorry, my wife and kids are coming through. Scrape back a little bit of a trace to attach a wire to. So I'm going to go ahead and fire up my soldering iron. Nope, don't want that tip. And the whole goal of this live stream will be to just see if we can get it to power up and make sure it's not a flashing blue light of death, which it may have been before all this. We're going to have to do this work regardless. One thing we are going to check, there is that tiny little cap there. I am going to make sure it's not shorted, since you never know how this thing was flopping around in there and arcing and sparking and whatever. Oh, my wife and kids, they're cooking. I cut up a bunch of steaks right before the live stream. That's why I was a little late. How do you transfer the data? That was the only thing I didn't get around to. I've done it with the PS3, but not the slim PS4. So you can... Hey, you're getting bot spam. Well, there's Micromage Repair. I just mentioned him. The Townsend Lucas. Yeah, I think I made Ellen Eberg Amp Repair a mod there. I don't know why he's not modding, man. I gotta figure out how to... Oh, there it is. Okay, so... Alright. Todd, you're a moderator. We're going to put Townsend Lucas in timeout. And then, like I said, there's Micromage Repair. I've been watching some of his Switch repair videos. So go subscribe to Micromage Repair. He's been doing some of that. And then there's some others I haven't got to yet. I got a list of guys I watch. My secret to support tons and tons of stuff, and I meant to say this in a 1K thank you video that I haven't got done, is when I go to bed at night, we got a cheapo Roku TV. The TV's got Roku stuff built into it, so I can turn on YouTube, and I just go to some of my channels. And so, like, I'll fall asleep to either Micromage Repair or Todd's video, or Vice Grip Garage, or 5-Star Car Video, or My Mate Vince, just any of those. And a lot of little channels. I do a bunch of little channels like Chase, who I was showing everybody there at the beginning. There he is. Let's see if I can get that to come up. Chase has got a whole new channel. He is working real hard to get that going, and working towards trying to do board repair as a living. He's got a regular job right now, and so if I like I said, I go to bed, I turn on the sleep timer, and so I go to bed watching them. Sometimes it takes me 2 or 3 nights to actually listen through kind of a whole video while I'm dozing off and everything. But even if I just put it on for 30 minutes, there'll be mid-ad rolls. Midway through the video, there'll be ad rolls. Well, I've already put the remote up, and I'm kind of all curled up, and it and I'll get back to that mic here in just a second. Sorry, ADHD squirrel. Let me check this before I forget. All right, that's not shorted. So anyway, I watch everybody's video, and I can let the ads roll on that TV. There's no way to skip ads really anyway. And so, if I watch Micromage Repair, and if he's got ads on his video, and if he's getting monetization, he's going to get some from me, even if I only watch a 30-minute chunk while I'm falling asleep. And I try to do that, and I try to do that with the small stuff. So, Mike, how to transfer there? There's two different ways. There is some programs out there you can use with an adapter like this to plug your drive in and then clone it onto your computer and then reinstall it onto the bigger drive. But I think there's a really easy way to just log into your make sure your PlayStation 4 is logged in, and to back it all up into the PS4 cloud PlayStation network thingy or whatever. And then you should be able to take your drive out, put the new drive in. You will need a jump drive, and you can go on PlayStation.com and get the latest version of the operating system onto a jump drive. And when you put it all in, you'll plug that into one of the USBs, because the new drive will be blank. And then it'll say you need this. You'll select it with your controller. You'll have to plug your controller in via micro USB. So micro USB cable, because when it doesn't have the operating system, it won't operate the Bluetooth Wi-Fi. It won't do these Wi-Fi, so you'll have to plug it in. Then you can do a system restore, and then it should connect, and then you can put in your credentials, and it should pull all your saved games and everything. So when you do that on the PS4 thing, first of all, it should know all your downloaded games automatically. So any console you log in with your login, your PlayStation account, should allow you to get your things. But what you're worried about, your saved games, and there's a place in the menu to send that to PlayStation so that it's backed up, and that way you can restore the console. They did that because, you know, people would have an old fat PS4 or whatever and buy a PS4 Pro and would want to be able to send all their save games, wipe the original one, sell it, and then transfer everything to the PS4. So it is all on the PlayStation website to exactly, you can follow it, step-by-step instructions if you want to pull it up on your phone or whatever to do that. But there is other ways to do it with the hard drive stuff that sometimes shops will do, especially if you have a failing hard drive and it's not letting the PlayStation boot reliably. Some of those guys, when they get one of those, they know how to transfer it all over and stuff. Much more advanced than me. And I found that out from the game console Legion, and that's a bunch of guys that are really good at it. They're pro. So I am going to have to turn on the light because I'm old and crap. And we're going to get a pair of pliers and a rubber band. So you take a rubber band on your pair of pliers to just spring it closed. Sometimes you need a better setup. That may be good enough. There we go. Give you a little holder. You know, I've got this little magnifier, helping hand stuff, but a couple rubber bands or whatever will always do it up to. So before I do that, let's get smart about this. So we know these two pads tore off, and we know they go that way on the board. So I'm going to mark this here. I'm also going to mark it with my silver one in case that does a better job. Not really. I wonder, is there any pin numbers? No. So I've marked it, and then we'll do this. What did I say the version of this was? This is a 1215, a CUH, right there, CUH 1215A. So we'll just do that. We will get a little stamp card. This is CUH 1215A. And so that should be either the Wi-Fi or the HDMI. I'm not sure if it's on what it is on this one. So no, that's all the HDMI. So I think that's the Wi-Fi card maybe. That's under that shield because it's got the little hookup there for the antenna, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. So it's there. 12 volt. And then we got this little connector. If we put it in the correct position, you'll notice it's got little indexes. So I'm going to draw. And so it's got just like so. Now I can make that go there, there, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's all I do. Man, I got cards like crazy like this. It's a mess over here, but you know, I got notebooks. I got notebooks underneath my desk and stuff that just have tons. Well, let's see, I'm putting it up. So there's a PS4 setup. Some notes. There's a note on a Boston amplifier. This was the Rockford Fosgate bass knob. This was the drawing I did in that video. Here's from a Sundown SAE 1500, SAE 3500. So I just go notes for notes for notes. That was a capacitor list. There's the 1500 again. There's an Orion Cobalt 260 I did. A bunch of notes. Notes on the outputs on this Orion Cobalt 260 are no longer any good. So I tried a couple different ones, but the IRFP 140 and the IRFP 90 140 worked great. That's the N and P channel FETs. So if you happen to be working on Orion Cobalt 260, bam. So anyway, I got notebooks and notebooks full of stuff. You like the cable transfer I did better. That would be my route. There are YouTube videos on it, Mike, on how to do it. I know it's out there. So I need to get yeah, so Todd, you're a mod now, and not the first person I put to sleep in my videos, Micro Mage Repair. The only reason why, like I said, I do it, to get views and view time, and then it also goes through ads, so that gets you some monetization if you've reached your monetization spot. And then what I've been doing, and like I said, I'd planned on doing this, my 1K thank you subscribers, I actually have a list in one of my other notepads of all the channels and everything. So I go through and I try to do, if they live stream, I've been trying to do, the thing where you do money in the chat. So I did it for Todd at Ellisburg Amplifier Repair, and I was really happy because I got to be his first donation. I've done it for Sam Bear Vids and stuff, and then others I've made notes out to there. So like my mate Vince does not do live streams, but he's got a Patreon, so I'm gonna sign up for Patreon. You actually have to sign up for Patreon to be able to donate on Patreon, I think, is how that works. Anyway, I started a whole list to be able to do that video, and I just have not sat down and done that video because COVID, all this other crap, everything just worked too much and stuck here in this little bitty garage, and we thought we would have been moved by now, which the whole real estate markets went crazy. So it's all nuts. So anyway, we know which way this is going to go. I'm going to stick this in here and start getting work done. I'm just chatterboxing. Of course, it's kind of fun to be able to talk with people that are interested in stuff. So Todd says he feels like his videos get boring as it's all the same stuff. Do have a video to edit about putting an amplifier back together with the perfect amount of thermal paste. Oh, there you go. That's Steve at Tronics Fix. That's his little funny saying. He likes to put an extra glob on there just to drive everybody nuts because you don't need a whole lot. There we go. You can see, as long as I don't burn myself, I got that pad to come off. I guess technically we left them on and put a drop of super glue to hold it on, but I don't want that pad to cause me problems. Alright, got both of those off. So then I'm going to go and I'll see if I can get a little zoomy zoom. Or maybe, just maybe, if I bring this out here. Well, my desk is a mess. Like I said, I was doing a total different job and I got a chance to pick this PS4 up and I did. Chase's video came on. I was like, hey, I could, do a quick live stream. Just really fast. Showing what I find whenever I just picked one up, that controller may be good. I don't know about the HDMI cable, any of that. I need to turn the light on. Now we had it working. Oh no, I had it on here. Here we go. That's where I had it on the left screen. There we go. Alright, let's go right there. A little focus. So this is exactly what I see when I need to do micro soldering. I don't have a microscope to look in. I got a video microscope, and so it shows up on my screen. And so we're going to hit this with the tiniest bit of leaded solder. To clean that up a little. And so I'm not perfect at it by looking at the screen. I'm going to get some flux out here. Yet, because I don't use it enough, on amplifiers and some of the other bigger things that I do. I don't need a ton of seeing, although it really does help with the Class D chips to be able to look down and make sure you've got all the legs just right on those chips, because some of those chips are super delicate, and so you can take your time and make sure. And I was trying to use up the last of a solder wick roll, but apparently I don't know where it's at. So, switch back to overhead real quick. So I just ordered up, it took it a while here, but Goot Wick. Everybody says that's really good. Good stuff, and so I ordered a roll to try, and so we're just now getting to break into it, because my last roll of this Kimtronics, which I know is good, excellent stuff, is a pretty good size, 80 by 40, that was 10 foot long. I saved the roll so that I could wind some of this on it if it's good, because this, I bought a full 30 foot roll, or 20 meter roll, so maybe that's 60 foot, 20 meters, something like that. Let me put this down so I can see what your stuff. So yeah, Mike, there's videos on it. That should be easy enough. You're a smart guy, I know. I've seen some of your post stuff and everything. When you figuring out your car and your amp, so you're definitely got your wits about you. So it should be easy for you to swap that out and then find the correct fitting drive. And that's not the picture we want. We want the left screen, but we want that. And then make sure it's, if you want 2 terabyte, it's got to be above 2 terabyte. It can't be like 190 or 180. It'll goof up. It can be like 196, 1.96 terabytes. It recognizes that as 2, but there's, like I said, some cheaper ones out there. Go with a Seagate for PlayStation 4 anyway. My son Aaron decided to go to sleep. They seem to work. Western Digital Blue is what some of the guys use, I think, and there's a few others that recommend. There, it's cleaned up. That seems like that solder wick did work pretty good. So I am going to wind some up on that smaller spool so I don't have to mess with this big giant spool every time. Bear with me while we try to get this in place without it being too crooked. It's like it's not even on there. Hopefully that pad's not all messed up too. And may not be able to get in there with this tip. I'll have to look at chat in a minute because this is up on my screen that's got chat. It does not look like I can get that tip in there. We'll let that cool off. We'll switch tips. I will switch back to overhead. Let's look at chat. Which wick was that again, Damon? That is Goot Wick. And Andrew Paul and a bunch of other guys. So first time I ever heard of it was on Andrew Paul's videos, and he does game console repair. And then I think actually my mate Vince had some. And yeah, that was the whole point. I took the chance on this. I could get this super huge heavy roll a lot cheaper, but it took like a week to get here. It was either slow shipping or maybe it did come overseas. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure I bought it on Amazon. That's the other thing I need to do. I need to like do an Amazon, what do they call those accounts thingies where you can put links down in the comment section. Yeah, Seagate, Barracuda. There's a couple of different ones. The Barracuda is the one I use because it's not their bottom end. It's more their mid-level, and it's reliable. And PlayStation 4 seem to like them. Micro Mage Repair says he's watched Rossman fix the same board. My problem with the Apples right now is that I can't find the videos because Rossman's got so many other commentary videos and stuff. They gotta the search feature doesn't work. Not everything is perfectly labeled. He's went back and fixed it a few times and made it a little more searchable, but it's not perfect, and I just need a little more. Who's the young guy? I'm terrible with names, so always forgive me. I mean, I could just talk to Todd, and 2 seconds later I'd forget his name, and I'd stumble while I was trying to remember it. Oh, it's TRCS circuits or something like that. The young guy, he's like probably 18 now, but he basically watched Rossman and some others, Paul Daniels, and learned to repair MacBooks and turned it into a business. Now he does a whole bunch of micro soldering and repair. And let's switch back to this. Anyway, he's a young guy. He's watched all that. I can kind of watch some of his videos. His videos have got real good titles. And I need to go through and watch more. But I've just been real time limited. You guys wonder why I don't put out videos often enough. Just because I just get so... Dadgummit, my hand is stuck. Get on there. There we go. So behind. Oh, does that look terrible or what? I don't know if this tip can put enough heat in there. I'm going to pull out my other tips. There we go. Okay. Oh, my thing got all screwed up. Oh, that one's not there. That's the one I want. So, show you my handy dandy setup here. That's what I wanted. So, I picked up hockey pucks and drilled them and made it to where, because hockey pucks are nice and dense and they're heat resistant because they're such good rubber, and just drilled it out to put all my different tips in. So it's a really, really great way to keep it in it. It's heavy enough that it doesn't fall over, you know. So we want a tip. It'll apply some more heat, but it'll fit in there. Let's see if this one will fit. Yeah, I think I can make that one fit nice. And get a little more heat than this micro pencil. So yeah, and then, you know, I've got it. These are for my two T12 style, and then this is for my other little Heiko 588 or whatever it is. So yeah, I've got in my little drawer under my workbench here. I've got another one. And the only tip I don't have in it that's supposed to stay in it is my big one. I have not used this tip yet. It's for cleaning up the boards when you do a reball of big chips, SMCs and stuff. Probably going to cut it down a little bit. I have a machine supposedly to let me do that, and I think I got a couple board candidates. I've got to try it, learn how to do it, and then I'll try to do a video on it, at least for what my machine is and if it's plausible. And I'll try to do a video if I do it with my machine. Doesn't do it, so at least people know not to buy that specific machine. Whoa, kind of overshot there. New tip. Add a little flux. Are you guys liking seeing the micro solder view? Because I can not show it if you guys don't like it, but we will put that in there. And let's see, clean this up, tin this up a little. Oh, you know what would help? Glasses to get me in here, and then I can see with my tip. Oh, there's a goober of something. Well, that board's just sucking all that heat. There we go. Oh, I hit that connector with my soldering iron, just barely. Gotta be careful of that. There we go. That looks better. Get that little bit of goo out of there. Yuck, whatever that was. All right. Shazam. So now, get a couple of Q-tips. We'll clean that up. And then I'm going to add this is the little connector I accidentally touched with my soldering iron. Just barely blipped it. See right on the edge there. Well, not affected at all, but I immediately knew I did it. Stuff you got to watch out for. Soldering iron's a little hotter than what these things can, little connectors can handle. So I gotta remember to always bring chat back up. So yeah, I love, Mike had said something, he's all in for electronics, and that's my thing is I like fixing anything electronic. I like learning about all the different circuits, things like that. Hopefully the background noise isn't too bad. My dog's chewing on a chewy treat. And I've got one little heater running. And I had to have a drink. So that gets us there. I'll probably use a little E6000 right here to help hold that down. And then once I get these two soldered in the way I want, and all these pads are falling off. That's off the bottom side. I need to flip that over and going ahead. Plastic razor blades, best thing in the world. Get those pads off there before I lose them and they get dirty. These are the heat pads for the memory chips. The big metal plate comes down and it's got a little dimple that pushes down on each one of them to help draw the heat away from the memory. Whoa. That's a bunch of ugly flux from the factory. That's a bunch of ugly schmoo. And then we need to go on ahead and clean the thermal paste a little bit anyway. Get this out of here. I'm going to leave that little soft center, but I'm going to get some of it out, this hard stuff. If we can get it to turn on, of course we'll replace it after I fix everything up real well. So now I'm going to look at this. I'm going to look at live chat real quick. Take a look at the wiki he put up. It's pretty comprehensive on the MacBooks. I may have that open, or I at least bookmarked it. There's also a game console wiki that they've started. You know, the right to repair is really kicking in. And so all right, so we should be able to take a little bit of magnet wire. It's tiny stuff. See if I can get the end of it to burn a little off and give me a little tin. Solder here. All I'm doing over on the, oh, you can see it just right there. Sometimes on this thin stuff you can get it hot enough to do it. Other times I got to get out the Scotch-Brite. Let's see if that did it. Yeah, I've got a little tin on there. Oh, so I'm going to read through this. So, Tim Herman, yes, that is who it is. Micromage Repair. That is TR or yeah, TRS Circuits or whatever. Affiliate program. Micromage says it. See, I've got to get better at this live stream thing so I can read the chat, respond to it, and not get lost in the thing. Okay, I know it sounds counterproductive, but it's good to know so others don't do it. I'd love to get my hands on a tar amps amplifier. Oh, just for understanding, blow it up different ways and know where to look for trace repair. So, I don't know. Some tar amps products are good and some are terrible. I'm going to try to do this. Just with everything else, you know, they come out with a new line and sometimes they get it wrong. And here's the problem. My microscope that I use does not have a swing arm. I need to get a swing arm so that I can pull it out and still be able to do things in the right direction of my hands so it's comfortable for me to solder it up. So sometimes I just have to do it without it. Which is not always ideal. A little more. No, I do not have that enough to get soldered. So, a little Scotch-Brite pad. Sometimes it's just the end I don't get tinned up right. I'll zoom in on this section when I can flip the board around and show everybody the little jumper I'm making here. And we know it goes to that one leg of the cap, so that's where we're going to go to on this one side. There we go. Scrape a little wire away. We're actually going the top sides of everything here on this, so this one's actually be up in the air. They were great, the biggest. Yeah. I got 2 sets of amps. I got one pair. There's 2 different amps of the same amp. It's a Sound Cubed and something else. They're both Type 8s, I think, that I could do a video on or maybe a live stream tomorrow. Alright, I'm going to have to get down there with my thing and hold my breath. Hang on just a second. believe I got it. We're going to put it under the microscope here and show you what I got before we cut it off here. We'll test it. I'll stick it underneath here. Get it there. I'm sorry, I'm reading chat. Doing those connectors with a conical is tough. I'd advise a chisel. Yeah, basically I went with a point instead of a thing. Getting a little more heat to it, something a little there. I love conical tips though, because I love to be able to take all the solder off, and when you stick it back on, that conical will suck up a little bit of the extra solder kind of into it, and really can make some of my solder joints look really professional. Which is hard to do. Hard to make me look professional, because I sure as heck ain't. Oh, and so see, there's a reason why we get it under the mic. So let me show you here. Ba-bam. So this right here, I got it soldered onto there, but look, it came off of this. So let's see how good, bad, or ugly I can get that over there on there. I need to break a pair of tweezers to give me a single pointer for moving stuff around. Oh, it's on there. It's soldered on there. Not where I wanted it though. See if we can get a dab more solder in there. And that's come around at it from this direction. I need another loop off my soldering spool. So just move that over there. All right. That's what I wanted. There we go. So now if I wiggle this wire, you'll see it's attached to that cap. So I should be able to carefully take my knife break that off. So now we have made the connection from here to this cap, and this cap runs on this outer one. We just got to make one to here. So we got a via right there. So I'm probably going to just gently scrape this via, and we'll just run along around into this other one. And then I'll show you the stuff I'm going to use, just in case I got to stop here, because my belly's about to growl. I cut up a bunch of cheap steak. And seasoned it, and my wife done fried it up and made some other stuff. And yes, I know it's late, but I ain't working tomorrow. I didn't work today actually because the weather was so bad. I need a new blade almost, but the weather was so bad I wasn't driving in it. If you don't get paid enough to cover your deductible and your medical deductible, your car deductible and your medical deductible, don't go to work. You know, I know some people have to because they get themselves in trouble for missing days all the time and stuff like that. Oh, there's got to be a better way of doing this kind of stuff. Hang on, let's switch back to overhead so I can see chat. And I'm going to pull this over here so I can at least read some of it. You know, show up to work on time. Don't get yourself in attendance trouble, so that whenever the weather is just horrendous, you can choose to stay home and not have to let all the other idiots slide into you, wreck your car, do all that other stuff. Now, I say that we can do that around here in the Midwest because we get limited number of snow days. You know, the weather's not terrible bad, but we don't continually get it like up in the Northwest. I'm sure Todd gets a ton of snow up in Washington. But those cities are also better prepared for lots and lots of snow, and so they'll do a good job of plowing the streets and stuff like that. It normally just takes a day for our street plows and stuff to get everything done, so you don't normally miss more than about a day or two. If you're careful. But I'm old enough and smart enough now. Well, that made all the difference in the world, putting a sharp tip on my X-Acto knife. Let me stick that underneath there and I'll show you what I did. So let me read. That's exactly what it is. So tar amps. I've only ever repaired 1 or 2 tar amps, all little bitty ones. One of them was blown. That blew the power supply driver. And I made a video of that, and I think the other one I did, they just broke either the speaker terminals or the power connections or something like that, and it wasn't blown. 20K DC, that's big. So anyway, let's switch to this and left screen. Okay, right there. So once I put a sharp tip on my X-Acto knife, I was able to scrape a little bit of that V off. And so now I should be able to scrape a little on here. Let me get my wire prepped, and we're going to run that around, and then like I said, I'll show you what I'm going to use just in case you guys haven't seen it. I know Eberg Amp Repair, you know, Todd there, and then Micromage. I can't think of Micromage's name right now. I told you I'm terrible with names. Forgive me. You may not even say it in this stream. I'm not sure. Now that I think about it. My soldering iron is screaming at me that it's going to go into standby here. Alright, come out of standby. So we're going to put the tiniest dot of flux right there. Oh, that's where some of that goo came, was into my flux. Paper towel here. Here we go. Clean that up. That's better. Alright, and get a little solder. This is where a conical tip would be good, because you just got it right in the spot you want. Come on. May have changed tips again. Yep. I'm not a professional. I'll switch back to overhead here. Turn it off, and we're going to go back to my favoriteest tip in the conicals. There's my wedge tip. This is great. This is fantastic for FETs and everything else. I got my micro conical. Where'd the other one go? Like I said, my bench is a mess. I was in the middle of doing a whole bunch of other work when I had a chance to snag this, and so I did. It's me nuts. Did I put it away in the... That's not it. Nope, did not. Oh, it's right here. Right in front of me. Put this down so I can see chat. So I got several of those amps to repair, but I got three, count them, three, audio pipe 1500s. All, I think they're exactly identical. That I got given to me that the guy doesn't want. I'm fixing up a bunch of other amps for him, so I kind of gave him a little credit for that. So I'm definitely doing a video on them, and we'll have all three, and so that we can go through each one real quick, you know, troubleshoot them, see what's wrong, maybe use one to help get it all going. And that's the beauty of if you're doing the same one, and Todd can test. Are these not hot swap tips? You know, I don't think they are with this KSGR that I got, because it throws an error code if it's not in there. But I could be wrong. Type 4 is the moneymaker. Well, I don't know if these are going to be moneymakers. The Type 8s I got, I'll pull one over here in a minute, would not be a moneymaker. Because they blew everything. They blew the power supply and the outputs. I got one other I'll show you, Todd, if you're willing to stay up a little bit. I can't stay too late, like I said. I can smell that steak from here. There we go. Now we're starting to get a little on there. Let's see if I can adjust that focus just a little better. Get this out over here. Here's my little wire. Not quite so much solder. Like I said, it'd be great if I had one of those AM scopes where I could be looking down into it and be doing a little better. I'm doing this looking at my computer monitor. I actually want it to come this direction. Oh, come on, stay on there. And I'm not the best at doing these jumper wires. Hey, there we go. So we're going to go We're going to go up. We'll try to stay there to there. To around to there. So I'm going to scrape a little of that away. And then once I got it all soldered in, we know it's good. Surely you guys have seen in some other videos. This is mechanics. It's made in China stuff. But it's a UV cure. I have a big UV flashlight. See if you can see the UV. Oh, I don't want to get it close to that. UV cure. And it's green. It'll match the board. We'll coat that wire, cure it on there, and that'll hold that wire from ever coming up and breaking off. Hopefully. But I do a bunch of different things. I got blue that I use for other boards, and I got black coming. I just haven't finalized that order for like Rockford boards and some others. I may have to use it for those. Some of the audio pipe boards are black. So, open up a sarsaparilla here. Yeah, so I was going to swing this out of the way. So these are the Type 8s. I got two of them. Two different brands, but they get the exact same board. They just got different RCAs. One of them's got nice Tiffany style RCAs, but it uses that Type 8 driver board. Two of these, they both blew the power supply and the output section. So I'll take the card out, rebuild it, rebuild all that, and make a matching pair. He wants those done. The same guy, nice guy, Will, awesome. He's actually works out at GP Car Audio. Wants those done, and so he gave me the 3 audio pipes because he don't need them. He wants those. Those are a little better amp, a little bit bigger. And so I'm going to have, it's going to be really fun because I'm going to have 3 to set out there, and it's a great way if you was to want to really learn Class D repair, if you can get multiples of the same amp so that you can build one and get a power supply section running right and figure out, you know, if you got your voltages and stuff. And then for like the ones with the driver's cards there and stuff, if you unsolder those driver cards, rebuild them, you can put a header strip in. That's what I'm going to do, and plug those cards in and test them in one known good working amp once you get one working. Hopefully out of the 3, you know, one of them is pretty easy to get working maybe, and you can use it for testing. I'm going to go ahead and pull that shield off so I don't screw it up. So I need to scrapey scrape about right there. I'm going to get in your way again, guys. But audio pipes are somewhat affordable, so I think that'll make a good set of videos because I think there's probably enough of them out there for the guys that are really interested, like Mike would be, Mike Honda there, that to learn something. That would be one he's probably got enough car audio buddies that he can find some that are broke that all match up and get a better understanding. So we are going to try and do a little scrapey and then see. Right about there. We'll burn through some of that enamel. Actually, it's a little further back. It's right about there. I don't think we're burning through it very good. I may have to crank up the soldering iron a little bit. I don't know how Lewis and all them get it to scrape off with their soldering iron. I never have that luck. Almost never. I always have to add a little mechanical scrapage. But like I said, I don't do it every day for a living either. So those guys are apt to be a little better at it than I am. I don't think it is. That's how Todd started. He got a pallet of crunch amplifiers. 76 of them. Holy crap. It's like, if they're crunch, isn't that, Crutchfield's? Wasn't that one of their brands or something like that? Is Crutchfield located up there in Washington State? Or did you just happen to find it? You guys got to bear with me. I'm slow. No wonder I don't do this for a living. I'd be poor and hungry. But I will go back under the mic to just crank that up too. See if we can get that enamel to cook off just enough. Bring it over here. Rub on it. I think I got it on there now. Now I got to retuck it. I need my other tweezers. I just had them. Maxonics. Maxonics located, is that where they do their importing from? Is up there in Washington State? That would make sense. Yeah, and Maxonics, they have several brands too. They got Crunch, they got Hyphonics now, don't they? Trying to think of who else they have. They may even have Orion. No, that's DEI. All right, somewhere. Are they up here? Oh, there they are. They're up on my magnet like they're supposed to be. All covered in crud. Oh, goodness gracious. I must buy the too good of high temperature enamel or something. It is always so hard for me to get through, get solder to burn through. Here we go. That started to work. Let's give it a little dab. And then I will show you what I did. I'm sorry I ain't got this under the microscope. I got to get better at it. Like I said, I don't have a fancy setup like some of the guys got, to where they can really show it off. That's what we wanted right there. I'm happy with that. Now we'll spin it around. I'm going to get my razor knife out and we'll break it off here. If I can get everything out of the way. Oh, I could severely use more room. Alright. Yes, and Boston's Cougars. They are slowly working with me. I had to sign an NDA with them. Oh, Maxonics or Boston? Because I know you'd been working the Maxonics angle for forever because you're really good at those amps and you fixed a whole bunch of them. And that they were always just being really rough with you about being a repair guy for them when you really should be because you know them so well. Alright, here we are. So we got it around there. We're going to take our X-Acto very carefully and place it right there at the edge. Oh, and it just snipped right off. And then, if my tweezers aren't too screwed up, get that shaped up. Let me get this wire out of the way. That looks pretty good. I like it. Going to squirt a little. So I also did this. I'll grab one of them here. They're much more expensive than Q-tips, but I got some foam ones for when I don't want some stuff. Let me go back into the overhead here. Bought some. I put them in my own bag here. They're expensive compared to Q-tips, but these are foam on the end, and they don't leave strings and hairs, so sometimes you gotta have them, because some of the stuff you're working on is just tiny. And so you get a little, and you can go through and you can clean stuff up with them too. And it won't leave any furs. And I don't want any furs because we're going to put the epoxy in as soon as this dries. Get the hot air carefully without making a mess on my workbench. That's all wrapped up in there. There we go. I'm just going to real far back, just use the heat. I'll also got a paper towel to soak up some of it with. evaporate the isopropyl alcohol. Did not get it totally clean over here where I wanted. Add a little bit more. It really needs to be clean before you UV it down. I want that wire away from that cap and that other. And I'm going to use a little of it to dab around this connector. So let's go ahead and finish drying that. Alright. Somewhere they are slowly working with me. Correction, NB quart. That will work like a champ. I think it will. Oh, caught one there, Todd. I seen that. Thank you so much. So much easier for somebody else to moderate in your channel. If they're going to watch your thing, be thankful. I'll make several moderators, whoever's in. I think I actually made Cliff at Strictly Amps a mod also. But so much easier for somebody else to catch that stuff in the chat, because I don't look, I look away and focused on the work, and I think that's why those sneaky trolls do that. So I'm going to get this. I'm going to swing this out of the way. Somewhere there it is. My little paintbrush. And actually, I guess we could put this here. I need one more swab. Make sure this is clean. Here we go. There we go. The screen. Let's see if we can get this back in under center. Just make sure that this is all dried up enough. It is not. I do not like that. That is not enough clean. Not nearly clean enough. There it is. Alright. We want all this clean, please. Have to be real gentle. See, this thing's wanting to come back up. And then let's dry it. I'm gonna have to get a Q-tip. It's just not wanting to work with those spongy ones quite as well as I'd like. It needs to be clean where I'm going to be applying this. That looks a little better. Alright, I'm going to put this over here so I can see. Todd, it's just you go over by their comment, and there's the little 3 clicky dots. The comment in the comment bar, there'll be 3 little dots, and you click on there, and you can make mod, you can snooze them, you can ban them. So I just take my mechanic stuff, and I got a little paintbrush. I'll just ooze a little tiny bit out. And then that goes back in my drawer so it doesn't get any exposure to sunlight. And we're going to go over here back to the left stream. I'm just going to evenly coat this thing. Hear my dog crunching on the bone in the background. I bumped it. And I'm going to go ahead and get a little on the edge of this connector so it blends in and holds all together. Now I'm going to take my little dab here that I got. I'm going to set it way over to the side because we're going to do this multiple times. And I just put that in there and let it cure. I found that it works best to go thin layers multiple times to build up a little bit and you get strength, because otherwise if it's thick you don't cure all the way through and it stays soft and liquid in there. So thin coat, get it on there, make sure it's good, hard set, put another coat on it, then another little coat, and away you go. So hopefully I'm setting that over the side. We're going to cure this just so it doesn't wiggle around, and very carefully plug into it, and then I'll very carefully unplug whenever we do. But I'm going to pull the power supply over here. Hopefully that was working. I don't know, we didn't test it. I'll probably take it apart and clean it. We're just looking for a beep and to see if we get something besides blue light of death. If it's blue light of death, we're done, because I'll have to figure that out. And if it's not, then I'll make a video on the finishing up of it after I've coated it and everything. Oh. Power button. We'll have this. So I don't know if I get anybody else concurrently watching, but if they have a question about amps, general electronics, game console repair, I do not do switches. I know Micromage does a bunch of switches and a bunch of everybody. I can't ever find a switch that's broke that somebody will sell me for a reasonable price. Everybody always wants way too much for the chance of them being just totally trashed and being a parts one. When you go to buy stuff, you really got to understand that. I mean, some people are willing to pay more than I am because they have much greater skills and stuff. But I'm looking at it as, if I buy it, it's probably not going to be repairable, and so it's going to become a parts one to maybe help repair another one. So I'm going to have at least 2 switches, And so I can't pay the amounts that they want, where if I get one working switch out of two, and I've already spent the money that a used working switch is, you know, there's I could have just bought a used working switch. You gotta buy stuff super cheap, so that you can fail and have parts, and so you lose money. I lose tons of money on amps and stuff, but you know, you can't totally flush all your money away. So I also have a laser. Ah, my ultraviolet laser that I can go in and I can use, and it seems to cure the thin layers really quick. I just move it along real slow. We're gonna give this a shot right in there where the connector's kind of done on that. See if we can get that to cure up really fast. I need to turn that one off. Goes back there. Like I said, I'm going to put more coats on there, but we want, let's see if that cured any. I'm going to have to get my eye loupe. I can't tell. Maybe a little more. Of course, it's getting late, so all the trolls are out there, aren't they, Todd? And Todd, if you need to go, that's fine. Don't make, just because I made you mod doesn't mean you have to stay up. I know tomorrow is Friday, and you probably have to work. I know you work at home or your own home shop, so that's kind of nice. But one of these days, I might get to do that. It's scary when you got a good job to think about quitting that and going out on your own, and I sure am not ready to do that, because obviously I'm so slow. I'd be making like $1 an hour. And I still have so much to learn. I'm nowhere near the proficient enough to be able to do it fast. Todd flies through amps, and if I'm getting 1 or 2 amps done on a weekend day, I'm jumping up and down. Alright, we're going to very carefully set this back in here. Goes this way. Yeah. Plug the fan back in. We're not going to have it on long enough to worry about really overheating, so I'm not worried about the memory chips having the thing. We're just going to look for if it'll go to white light real quick, and then we'll shut her off. Where did the screwdriver go? This one will work, I think, maybe. Yeah. Try to take Sundays off. I still find myself replacing transistors. Dude, I work all the time. My wife has already said that we have to find land so I can build a little shop. Because if I was to have a retail shop somewhere, you know, like as my shop space, you know, where you take in, if I was to try to run my own business, I'd be at it all the time, and she'd never see me, and she's like, that's not cool. And so we have to find some land. That way she knows where I'm at. That way, at least I'm on the home grounds. She likes that I'm out in the garage. You know, I'm not out running around doing stupid stuff. Although she says I'm in the garage too much. But I'm readily available whenever there's stuff to do. And I cook dinner, and I'll just put a pair of screws in here. Just enough so that we know that it should be together. And I've got the plug. I got to figure out which one is. That is eject. And so I need to put this back in because it is the power button. I will try once with the hard drive in. But it can be issues even though it checked good, but we'll see. I'm going to go ahead and plug these all back in just to speed things up for the boot so it's not trying to go straight to safe mode. Hope that this one ribbon cable allows enough communication that we don't get too awful bad. Let's get that in there. Come on, pop up. There we go. There's in. Yeah, when somebody took this apart, they tore it up good. Sorry, there it is. I'm going to go ahead and put a pair of screws in here. Make sure the power supply doesn't fall out and rip out the repair we just did. If I flip it around, because I will probably unplug it right here. There's another plug on the side of the power supply, and you can unplug it there. And that way, when I lift it out, there won't be any problems. Hopefully they did not tear those cables up. So let's see if it'll do power now. Now it's upside down. There we go. There's a beep. And you guys can't see the lights. I'm going to carefully flip this thing over. We'll grab the HDMI out of here. And here it is. Bam. Cannot start the PS4. Connect the DualShock using the USB cable and then press power supply button. So we have video. The fact that it is white light is awesome. Kind of can quick test this controller, but I want to shut it down because I don't have all the things on the memory. And we don't have the CPU very well done, but this will test the controller that came with it maybe. Press the PS button, it says. Oh, sorry, the PS button. Nope, the controller does not appear to be syncing. So it's got some other problems. Either that or there's a problem with this controller. I have to go get my good controller and stuff. But I am going to end the live stream because, like I said, we did get it to there, which is good enough for me. I'm going to pull the plug so it doesn't overheat, because that means it's trying to boot. If it's a bad controller, then obviously once I put the pads in and stuff, I'll be able to go back in there. It may have bad firmware, may have the hard drive may be going crazy. I can always use the whoop. Everything went sideways. Sorry about that, guys. Yep, the beep of life. There's, yeah, and since I had video out on there, I am happy because everything else is troubleshootable by YouTube videos. Shoot, pretty much. You know, worst case, can be a South Bridge screwing up the USB if it doesn't sync and stuff. There's a couple little things in there, but what I'll do is I'll go get a known good controller before I do all that and get this cleaned up enough that I can put all the stuff. I don't want to do any more overheating, and then I want to clean this fan up and stuff and put the pads in so that I can sit there and mess with it. And I've been streaming now for how long? Over 2 hours. So we'll call it good. We fixed, you know, the power supply is obviously working. We fixed that jumper setup. We did get it power on. We got a white light. I'm calling that a win for now. Tomorrow morning I'll play with it some more. I'll try to record it. Leave a comment down if you want me to record the rest of it, troubleshooting it, and then we can even go, if this happens to be bad, which they said they didn't know if it worked, we can do a troubleshoot on that. I've got a few parts ones that either I can fix them up. There's like 6 different revisions of these controllers, so you have to be careful. But if I have a parts one or something that actually works, then this has got a fantastic case in it. The case isn't busted, and some of the ones I've got that were working before were busted all to pieces, where somebody got mad and thrown it. But the controller still worked. It just got big chunks missing out of the case, and you know, I've seen them busted where they're missing these buttons and stuff. It's crazy. You can get stuff for $5 or free sometimes because somebody got mad at it and threw it across the room. All right, guys, thank you so much for working. Thank you, Todd. Hey, Basehead 30. Good to see you. And like I said, I like to fix anything electronic. So you know, I enjoy doing these. Amps. I do some industrial stuff. I fixed car stereos, old ones, new ones. As a matter of fact, before this stream, I was fixing stuff for brand new stuff, 2017 and newer. But anything electronic and anything fun, and let's fix it and keep it out of the landfill, and you know, stop the throw it away and buy another one from China syndrome. So everybody stay safe and stay warm. It's like 14 degrees here Fahrenheit. So thanks a bunch. Once again, I'm gonna go eat.